Commissioner for Works resigns, gets federal appointment. Port Harcourt refinery to begin delivering refined petroleum products soon. The Fed's headquarters say location of kidnapped Kaduna students difficult to get to. On foreign scene, Australian farm grows world's biggest blueberry. I am Ifechuku Moyele with the news. Now, the Rivers State Commissioner for Works, George Kelly Alamo, has resigned his position. This follows his appointment as the Director General of the Border Communities Development Agency, BCDA. His appointment was approved by President Bola Ahmed Tinubu. Media aides to the President, Azurin Gilale, made this known in a statement on Thursday. In a resignation letter cited by our correspondent, Dr. Alabo appreciated Governor Fubara for the opportunity to serve the state under his administration. Recall that Dr. Alabo earlier resigned his position during the heated rift between FCT Minister Nyesom Wike and Governor Fubara. He was reappointed as commissioner following a peace resolution mediated by President Bola Tinubu in Abuja. Meanwhile, the president also appointed Dennis Otwaro as administrator of the Presidential Amnesty Program, PAP. In the meantime, state governors have been urged to set aside political differences and collaborate with the federal government to build the nation. President Bola Ahmed Tinubu, who made the call during the breaking of Ramadan fast with governors at the State House in Abuja on Thursday, emphasized the importance of transitioning from politics to governance, noting the need for unity and cooperation among all stakeholders. Moving on, now the group Chief Executive Officer of the Nigerian National Petroleum Company Limited, Mele Kyari, has assured Nigerians that the Port Harcourt refinery will begin to deliver refined petroleum products in 2 weeks. Mr. Kyari said this at a media briefing after he appeared before the Senate Ad Hoc Committee investigating the various turnaround maintenance projects of the country's refineries. He said mechanical works have been completed on the Port Harcourt, Warri, and Kaduna refineries. He also said that over 450,000 barrels of oil had been stocked into the Port Harcourt refinery. The Nigerian Communications Commission, NCC, says several African internet service providers faced outages due to submarine cable cut. The NCC, in a statement by the Director of Public Affairs, Ruben Moka, on Thursday said cable operators are actively engaged in effort to restore connectivity. Yesterday, telecommunications subscribers and bank customers across Nigeria were stranded for several hours following internet services disruptions. Telecommunications service providers sent messages to customers saying it was caused by damage to some undersea cables. The NCC identified affected operators to include West African Cable System and African Coast to Europe, along with SAT3 and Main 1, which experienced downtime. It attributed the disruption to incidents in Côte d'Ivoire and Senegal, resulting in subsequent disruptions in Portugal. Away from that, the Rivers State Council of the Nigerian Union of Journalists, NUJ, has directed its members to boycott all activities of the Port Harcourt Electricity Distribution Company, PHEDC, over what it described as extortion and unwarranted disconnection of the NUJ Ernest Ikoli Press Center at Moscow. A statement signed by the state NUJ chairman Stanley Job and secretary Ike Wigodo also appealed to its counterpart in Bayelsa, Akwa Ibom and Cross River States to do the same in solidarity. The statement said PHEDC disconnected the press center even when the union was not indebted to the firm. The PHEDC has not responded to this. In other news, Rivers residents have been advised to take their kidney care seriously. Speaking in line with the World Kidney Day yesterday, a professor of medicine and nephrology at the University of Port Harcourt Teaching Hospital, Pedro Choma, advised people to reduce their intake of salt and herbal medicines. Professor Choma, in an interview with our correspondent, said over 850 million persons globally have kidney diseases.
The common causes are generally hypertension, kidney inflammation, and diabetes. And even within our communities, where people use a lot of herbal remedies and drugs that they purchase from chemist shops, which includes painkillers and all that, this also contributes to kidney diseases. Common drugs like diclofenac, indomethacin, piroxicam, common drugs that are used for pain, especially for arthritis, they're out there and people consume them without knowing they can cause their kidneys when they are not supervised while using them. High salt intake and also affects hypertension, and which will cause kidney disease. So we also advise people to begin to curtail the amount of salt that they consume on a daily basis.
Professor Chuma also advised residents to drink more water.
Between 2.5 to 3 liters of water a day should suffice. But again, you have to look at the ambient temperature of the environment. So during the hot seasons, when we are bound to sweat more, it means we need to take in more. If you check during the wet seasons, you discover that we won't be so thirsty. So our need for water might not be as much as we will have during the dry season. But water is something that is very vital. So when we don't take enough water in our body, we will get dehydrated. And severe dehydration also can cause a form of kidney disease, which we call acute kidney injury.
Also, a consultant pediatrician nephrologist at UPTH, Ifeoma Anochie, advised pregnant women and nursing mothers to be careful of the medication they take to avoid exposing their children to the risk factors associated with kidney disease.
There are many things that could predispose children, both unborn and born. Some things we call congenital problem, which is what happens in the womb. And so, pregnant women to know what to do when pregnant to avoid some of these risks occurring in children. And then thereafter delivery. So, in the prenatal period, the drugs they take in pregnancy can lead to not going for antenatal, delivering in with people that are not experienced, will cause birth asphyxia that will affect the kidneys. Are an essential organ removing waste.
Meanwhile, experts specializing in kidney disease treatment have called for stricter regulations on carbonated and alcoholic beverages in Nigeria to address the increasing cases of organ failure that made the appeal at a rally organized as part of World Kidney Day celebrations in Lagos. They highlighted the high sugar and chemical content in these drinks, which can lead to kidney damage over time. The experts called on the government to intervene by regulating the production and sale of such beverages. Now, the theme for this year's World Kidney Day is Kidney Health for All. Still to come, Defense Headquarters say location of kidnapped Kaduna student difficult to get to. The 287 students of a school in Kuriga, Kaduna State, who were kidnapped last week are being held in locations that are difficult to get to. Briefing newsmen on Thursday, the Director of Defense Media Operations, Major General Edward Buba, said the kidnappers are using their victims as human shields to prevent further air and land offensive against them. He also said information about the kidnap of the students got to the security agencies 6 hours after the incident. Major General Buba also said the military is committed to rescuing all kidnapped victims unhurt. He, however, blames school owners for failing to report the incident to security agencies on time. And now to business. The Minister for Power, Adebayo Adelabo, says citizens of the African countries, including Guinea, Togo, Mali, and others, pay more than what Nigerians pay for electricity. Mr. Adelabo said Nigerians should also get ready to pay more for electricity if they get an improved power supply. The minister said this on Thursday when he visited the corporate headquarters of the Ikeja Electric in Lagos State. In entertainment, Nollywood actor Titilope Kuti, popularly known as Ade Tiger for his role in the Netflix adapted series King of Boys, says his transition from his role in King of Boys to his role as Adingu in new Netflix series Anikolabo Rise of the Scepter came as a shock to him. And now to sports. The Europa Conference League quarterfinals will feature 2 teams from Greece and 1 from England, Belgium, Turkey, Italy and France. Second leg matches of the round of 16 concluded on Thursday night revealed the final 8 teams advancing in the competition. Today, the draws for the quarterfinals, semi-finals and final will be decided at UEFA headquarters in Nyon, Switzerland, where the ceremony will kick off at 2 p.m.
And now, we bring you news from around the world.
An Australian farm has set a new world record for producing the largest blueberry, with a fruit nearly 4 centimeters wide and weighing 20.4 grams, 10 times larger than an average blueberry. Now, this achievement surpasses the previous record of a 16.2 grams berry from Western Australia. The blueberry comes from a new variety developed by the Costa Group to meet consumer demand for larger berries. That's a wrap on the news this afternoon. Before we go, let's have a look at the major stories. Rivers State Commissioner for Works George Kelly has resigned to face his new federal appointment. NNPCL Chief Executive has assured that the Port Harcourt refinery will begin delivering refined petroleum products in 2 weeks. The Defense Headquarters says the location of kidnapped Kaduna students difficult to get to. And on the foreign scene, an Australian farm has grown the world's biggest blueberry. The news was edited by Constance Mega. To reach the news team, send an SMS or WhatsApp to 0808 721 7215. I am Ife Chukwumoyali. Many thanks for listening.